to get us started, what got you into music?
Well, I've just always really loved music. I mean, it's almost an obsession, and it's been with me as long as I can remember. And in fact, actually, my parents and cousins tell me that I used to claim to be Johnny Cash and insisted that they call me Johnny Cash, and carried a guitar around and dressed in black. And it's just, I listen to music all the time, and even the people I live with probably sometimes wish that I would turn it off, but I love it. When you have a strong interest in something, it really drives you to continue pursuing it. So even in times when it's tough, or times when you might otherwise be frustrated, you just love it so much that it keeps you going, so you stay in the moment.
Sometimes it seems I'm so far away.
Go back to what it is that inspires you with that music, that makes you happy, that makes you enjoy it, and that will keep you going. So find something you enjoy and be able to express yourself, however that is. You know, sing your song. Some people like to write and create music. Some people like to play covers. Some people like to have favorite composers that they'll sit and play on piano. Whatever it is that keeps you doing it, pursue that. And that's advice that I received from my grandmother. All my grandparents played music. I never actually got to see them. By the time I was growing up, they had all kind of quit performing or playing in front of other people. But no matter what I did in terms of other accomplishments in school, that sort of thing, I'd come and meet with my grandmother, and she'd say, "Well, that's great, but are you still playing music?" That's what she always wanted to know. And then her answer, as long as I said yes, her answer would be, "That's great, because you can do that your whole life."
Just be true to yourself, and I'll be proud. I'm always with you, wherever you go, and I'm not in you. You're never really alone. I'm in your mind, your body, heart and soul. I'm always with you, wherever you go.
So let's talk a little bit about your arrangements. So you do a lot of solo singer, songwriter, just you and the acoustic guitar, which we have.
Yeah.
What kind of drove you to that? Have you tried other things? Like, how is that your defining feature?
It's how I started.
Okay.
Of course, when I was in grade school or maybe junior high and learning to play, I played to Jerry Jeff Walker records that my dad had, and so I always admired those singer-songwriters, and I would just sit there and play and sing along to them. And then eventually I joined jazz band in high school and really enjoyed that, being able to play with others, and that turned into my first rock band. And so off and on, I do really enjoy playing with other people. It's just that oftentimes those bands have a lifespan. You have a great time, you create a lot of great music and enjoy the relationships you get out of it. And it's exciting to have loud music and to be playing through an amplifier and all those kinds of things. And then at the same time, I like having an act that continues, that I have the longevity of being a solo performer, then I can perform those pieces and the music that I've written and just continue to be able to pursue that whenever possible. And you mentioned Johnny Cash performing to audiences of prison inmates. I'm sure he would describe them as a captive audience, but they certainly appreciated it. You could tell how much it meant to them, and I think that's what artists want to do, is connect with their audience. So I have my own captive audiences at times, but I think they really enjoy it, and we give ourselves over to it, and it becomes part of us all performing together. I think of it as something where I'm feeding off of them as much as they are.
Welcome home, honey. It's been a long, long time. It's true, I've missed you, though knew that you were fine. Always wanted to be right there with you to help you on your way. Now that you're in my arms, I just want to say, welcome home. It seems so long that you've been gone. You're welcome home, no matter where in this world that you have welcome home. Leaving this shell, you fell hard to the world. Through time and talent, you turned sand to pearl. You stay those little roughen edges, grow more refined. Coarse ways and awkward shapes and all fall behind. Welcome home.
Why this guitar? Like, it's acoustic, which is phenomenal. You've got the electronic out, which is great. But yeah, what drew you to this one?
You know, I like this guitar because I thought it would have a lot more versatility for me. It's a small body, so it's like a parlor-sized guitar, so I can play it almost anywhere. I can sit on the couch, and it has a great tone to it. It articulates notes very well, so it's a good finger-picking guitar. I mean, I'll probably do a little finger-picking and a little bit of strumming and that sort of thing, but this is, it's got a classic sound to it in a lot of ways. Back in the 1930s, a lot of the old blues and folk musicians played guitars that sounded like this, and so it has a tone that really resonates with me and sounds familiar. And I think ultimately, again, when we go back to why do I play music, I just love the sound of it, and so I love the way the notes sound when I play it.
Eternally, I let go 'cause I know to grow you must be free. But now that you're back here, I hope that you can see. So welcome home. It seems so long that you've been gone. You're welcome home. No matter where in this world that you have roamed, you've been out on your own, carrying a heavy load. Now you're back where you belong. Welcome home. You've been out on your own, carrying a heavy load. Now you're back where you belong. You're welcome home. Lucky the cat came to town, donned his best duds, went on down to the old saloon, bought himself a big root beer. The cat was cool, but also sad. He'd lost the best gal he'd ever had in all of his 9 lives. But he's lucky, don't he know he's truly lucky?
I find a lot of people do say, I always wanted to learn how to play guitar, or I always wanted to learn how to piano, or I took piano lessons as a kid and I stopped doing it. And I say, well, the secret is just start doing it. There's no secret to it, really. You just start doing it again. If it's something that brings you joy, do that. And if you want to find some other way, some other creative outlet, pursue that. But it's a matter of determining, what those interests are, and not letting anybody dissuade you from that, from pursuing it, whether you make a living doing it or not.
Harley lent his old floppy ear, he bought his old buddy another beer. He listened to his tale of loss, then he said, you're lucky, don't you know you're truly lucky? You have friends and family, and can't you see your life? You're lucky, you can lean on your buddy. I'll always be here for you. That's what good friends do all their lives.
kind of the big thing too, because a lot of people focus on make it big, go on the big tour, but it really is just a simple part of life.
Yeah, it really is. You know, I have known people who have gone on to do it professionally and have, you know, pretty good careers, and you know, I don't think they enjoy it any more than I do, doing it the way that I do as well. I mean, I'm happy for them and I'm proud of them, but at the same time, my being able to share what I do with just a small audience, I think brings me as much joy.